Hello, hello. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I already don't remember what episode number I'm on, but yeah, we will continue with the third case today. We're going straight into a trial, I think. So let's load this data. October 18th, 10 AM, District Court, Courtroom number 4. It's been a couple of weeks since I played this because I was away last week and didn't have time to make a video. And I'm definitely not making this video about an hour before it usually goes up, so this one's going to be a little bit late. But yeah, we're here in the courtroom. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honour. The defence is ready, Your Honour. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 PM on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It's impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well, I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Good old Gumshoe. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studios, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 PM on that day. Past the security station there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then, after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 PM, the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 PM. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 PM. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case, in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to the whole thing again? Let's listen again, why not? I'm sorry, could you describe that one more time? I should have known it would have been you, pal. Fine, once more for the mentally challenged lawyer. Damn! Yeah, live it up while you can, Gumshoe. Is this just going to be absolutely identical? Okay, I think it is. Yeah. Alright, let's skip through this then. I didn't really need to. I wonder if there's a fail state for asking to hear it again too many times. No, let's skip it this time. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear? How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record. Your Honour, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name? My, aren't you a handsome fellow? Oh dear. It's already started. I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. I don't think that flies in court. Yeah, your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Yeah, that's not the first time, either. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. So just call me Grandma. Blah, 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 blah. Jesus Christ. Well, while she's doing her spiel, I have this. 1 second. Ooh. Crisp. Objection. I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony? Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. Witness's account. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 PM. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 PM, right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 PM. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading toward the studio. You saw the defendant then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I already think I know what I'm going to try and present first. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 PM. That's fine. Poor old Hammer and the rest have been doing a run through there since the morning. That's also fine. I had some errands to run that morning. Let's press on this. Just see if we get anything. What kind of errands? Oh, well, you know. Answer the question. Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers. Observing, you know. Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station? Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job. I'm not sure your boss would see it that way. Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs. Always. Never missed one in all my years. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run-through too. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty. Not a bad idea. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 PM, right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 PM. It was Powers. That man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. So, if we check this, the costume is clearly too small for whoever's wearing it, right? So that's my first thing. Let me get this straight, Oldbag. Ms. Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Ms. Oldbag. Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't. Thanks, Edgeworth. Helping us out here. Well, I mean, I wonder? True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss, Witness. He's having trouble calling her Oldbag, apparently. That was my thought as well. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Nosy old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised? Oh no. The prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Oh dear. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me, this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Wow, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then. The man in the photo, witness testimony. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now, look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? So he had sprained his ankle. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. I'm not going to press her on that one. That morning during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Let's press this one, just see what prop. He broke a prop? Sure did. His own samurai spear. His samurai spear, the murder weapon. Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This strikes me as a significant detail. I'd better write this down in the court record. Samurai spear updated in the court record. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot. Okay. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. I'm just going to press on everything. Are you absolutely sure? Let's take a look at that picture again. So he was walking strangely because he was injured. It does look like he was dragging his foot. See? And you didn't trust me, whippersnapper. It's called being thorough. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? Still, you can't look at this and say it's Mr. Powers. Yes, but only Mr. Powers would have been dragging his leg. He has a point. It does seem quite likely that it was Powers. There's got to be more to this. I'd better keep pressing her. What else can we press on? I saw Powers trip and fall. Why not? Trip and fall. Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. He helped make it better. I kissed it where it hurt. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then? Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue your testimony. He broke one of the props, blah blah blah. Let's just be rude to her. Whippersnapper. Hey, I haven't said anything yet. I'll have you know I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything I've said is on the straight and narrow. The up and up, youth today, always whining about each other, pointing fingers this way and that. Blah, 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 blah. Mr. Wright, please, for all our sakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edgeworth has met his match. That's the only thing I haven't pressed yet, right? Who was present at the run-through? Well, let's see. There was Powers, he's the Steel Samurai. Then poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate. And me. And what exactly were you doing? Observing. Just observing. About the assistant, she was cleaning backdrops. Yeah. Okay. Done that one. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honour? Well, there is one thing that bothers me. Which is... where is this Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. It kind of is. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes? And it is clear that the person in the steel samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure, Your Honor? Hold it right there. We keep talking about possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the steel samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 PM, true? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be this steel samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 PM. Let's just check all the evidence as well. Yeah, 2:30 PM. Okay. Only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. Let's press on that. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all. Nobody suspicious looking, right. No one else went there. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean before 1? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them. Are you sure? The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness. That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy. Edgy boy? Old Windbag surely has balls, or, well, you know what I mean. Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details after all. Or, for that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps. Damn, Phoenix, no need to be savage. Let's press on that as well. How do you know that? Eh? Didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective. And then, after some rubbish about it being a secret, pal, he told me everything. I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officer's fondness for donuts. Okay. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. I think I want to present the map on this one. Because if someone came from Studio 2 and went to Studio 1, they can get there without going past the main gate. So let's try that. No, it doesn't. Okay, fair. Damn. I don't know exactly what I can present or press on here, because I think I've pressed on everything. I mean, she's still calling him Will Powers, even though it's just the Steel Samurai in the photo. I can try presenting the photo again, but... Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture? And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right, anyway. It's also true that the computer in the guard station recruits? Interesting word. Records all security cam data. Ooh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words October 15th, 2 PM, photo number 2. Even I know that means it was taken at 2 PM on October the 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2. The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Okay. Order, order. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1 but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet, there is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Huh? Me? Oh no, she's off again. You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. Put the camera on the gate, fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! Huh? But believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Oh, some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something, or just made something up. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai? Well, yes. I suppose you could put it that way. I see. Your testimony, please. The other person. Every day, after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out 1 photo that day. Ms. Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it. Right, anyway. Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. The other person. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. Okay. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out 1 photo that day. Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased? A fanboy. A fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys, real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. 1 was there that day. Wait a second, didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in, those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate had been loose for a while. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain? I told you they were freaks. Oh, and? They're kids. Children. Whippersnappers. Kids. So, on the photo that you erased, it was a boy. Probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order, order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh, yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade? I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I'd think. It's quite heavy. Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, What's going on? I mean, the boy was there, that makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. October 18th, 11:08 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick, what are we going to do? First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sound like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed the crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalised. Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? The security lady is the obvious choice here, right? I kind of don't want to mess up, but we'll try the security lady. And just live with our mistakes if that happens. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. See, that's what I was thinking. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper. Dun dun dun. Order, order. Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Ms. Oldbag to you. Ms. Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. But why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here, Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. Jeez. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there and do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. We'll give her a break. I don't think we press further here, because if we go too hard on her, and it turns out not to be her, then that could be bad, but we'll give her a break and see if they let us have another day for more evidence and stuff, I think. I guess this does kind of make it look like she's the killer. Funny, I feel bad for her all of a sudden. It's true that the witness could conceivably have committed this crime, yet we must not forget that the victim was an action hero. As formidable as her personality may be, I doubt she'd be strong enough. Uh-oh, if he removes her from consideration, that means Mr. Powers is it. Sorry, Windbag, but I don't have a choice. Okay, so it's the same option either way. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Ms. Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? But that doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds, tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder? I mean, it would be hard for him to reach the chest, right? It could also be the card key. Let's try the card key. The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. Yeah, I think that was the right choice. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag, speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honour. Then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Ooh. Wait a second. I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. I'm talking. Oh, jeez. No one liked that. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. Oh, jeez. My lips were sealed. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honour. Witness the power of the Oldbag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. I mean, we need to press on who they are, right? There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Can we press on that one? Who were these people? Well, the director and producer, for starters. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So, where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but we'll take a break. Your Honour, we've learned there were others at the Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defence's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Ms. Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honour. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned. October 18th, 1:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. But thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Oh, really? It's nothing. Oh, or should I... We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain, so now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in that Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been Old Windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor Old Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right, we'll be back to visit you soon. But thanks. Thanks, guys. To be continued. And that is a pretty good place to wrap up the episode for today. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Let's save the progress. We're going to pretend that it's not 18 minutes until I normally upload. I'm gonna finish the recording here and very quickly edit and upload this. I really appreciate everyone watching this. And thank you to people leaving comments as well. It's lovely to see them each time. I really do appreciate them. And anyone who's liking the video as well. But yeah, that will be it for now. We'll search for more evidence in the next episode, and then probably get back to the courtroom not too long after that. So thank you for watching, everyone. I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye-bye.